Alright, this video is going to be assigned to recovery methods, but I wanted to start it because I wanted to show you a couple things. So first of all, I wanted to show you the quiz. I put a quiz in here, and I did it with a pass and a fail so you could see, and then I did the details. So the quiz is kind of nice. If you look at the details, it gives you an explanation of why the answer is what it is, and then you have 3 chances, I think, to pass it. Also, this video overview, I think I already mentioned this, but this video overview is the full lesson, but done using the 115 plugin. So it's still a valid and good video. All right, now we're going to go on to recovery methods, and I have completely changed this so that it's only videos. So the backup and recovery for plugin 115 is just going to be the video. I took out all of the extra instructions because they didn't make sense anymore. And the method is quite a bit different between plugin 115. So if you're using plugin 115, use this video. Otherwise, we're going to be working on this video, which isn't here yet because you're watching it right now. So let's go ahead and get on to that. So backup and recovery is super duper important because you are going to make mistakes. You're going to mess up your geo package. And this is just like a great way to just prevent, you having to go back and redo a bunch of work. So please pay attention and follow this and use it. At the end of every one of these major lessons, you're going to want to run through this same process. So in my previous 115 video, I showed you a lot about data management and path control and things like that. We kind of automated a lot of that with this new plugin, so you don't have to do a lot of that. So if you don't see something looking like this, you're probably using plugin 115. Go watch the other video. So we got our save button, which as you can tell, it didn't need to be saved because there was not an asterisk there. But if I start modifying the position of these layers, then things need to be saved. So that's just something to note. And then once you've saved your project, you come here and you close out of it and you go back to the location where you saved your project, which is, of course, our self-help tutorials. If you're following the 115 lesson, I think it's telling you to put it inside here. The self-help lesson is going to be a little different because it doesn't make any sense for it to be inside there. You use the same geo package for the whole lesson, so it doesn't make any sense for it to be inside lesson 1. So I moved it. Okay, now for this, you're going to want to right-click 7-zip. If you don't have 7-zip, I'll show you the other way. And you want this to be a 7Z because that makes it quite a bit smaller than a regular zip. Let's just wait for it to happen and then we'll do it the other way too. If you don't have 7-zip, that's cool. Just use your standard zipping tools. Now the reason I did this, actually didn't make it that much smaller because that TIFF is in there and that TIFF has already been compressed, but it made it a little bit smaller. Now right click 7-zip, create a regular zip file. That should go a little bit faster because it doesn't compress as nicely. It's not like you're not going to really tell a difference because that elevation TIFF is inside there, so it's still going to be pretty big. And you can see here that you don't really get much compression with the 7Z. I'm sorry, with the regular standard zip compared to 7-zip. So definitely worth it to go download and install 7-zip. It's an excellent tool, especially for DAT files. Let's go ahead and go in here, and I want to show you the same process except of course on our export files. All right, so right click 7-zip, go 7Z, and then we'll do the same thing with a regular zip. Okay, right click 7-zip, and we want zip. See, it's a lot faster, but it's a lot less compression. So if you put your cursor on this, you should see that the size of this is, well, that used to happen. If you put your cursor on it, it might give you the size of it. Let's just do properties. It is about 98 megabytes. So 9.8 or 9,000. Let's see, what is that? And then it zips down to, yeah, about 7 megabytes. So really zips good, zips Flow2D data good. And the 7-zip zips it even better. So just so you know, it's a great way for data compression. Now back here, the geo package, we zipped it. Now it's safe, right? I'm going to just delete this one because I'm not going to use it. It's safe, but I'm going to say in here that this is getting started complete. And I'm going to move this to a folder called backups, because at the end of every major lesson that we do, we're going to do one of these backups. Okay, so then I'll just pop that in there, and now I can just reload this into into Flow2D, or sorry, into QGIS. Now let's say that we were going along and we just made a catastrophic mistake in our project. Let's talk about how we would recover from that, right? It's super easy. You just close out QGIS, or probably QGIS crashed or whatever, and you can't get your data to reload, or something is just phenomenally wrong with your geo package. You've just completely lost it. It's not a super common occurrence. The more that you use the software, the less likely that is to happen, but it does happen at the beginning. So to recover from that, you're just going to delete this, go into your backups, right click, and of course, if you had like a regular compression software, regular Windows compression software, you would just use your extraction tools. But with 7-zip, you go right click, 7-zip, and extract here. And it will extract and recover that file. And you're going to Control X, right? I want to cut it. I don't want it to be in backups. I want it to be here, and I'll pop it right here. And now it's ready to go. Now you can't double click on this file, okay? Because it's a geo package. You can open with all kinds of software, so you can't just double click to open it. In order to open it, you have to go back into QGIS. I don't know if you remember this or not, but I did put QGIS on my start menu. So if you type in here QGIS, you can pin that to your start menu. Of course, for you, this will say pin to start. For me, it says unpin because it's already there. And then you load QGIS, and then you load the project back up. Now, if you haven't changed your path, I'm gonna ignore this for now. If you haven't changed your path, you should be able to just open it from here. If you don't see that, or if that is grayed out like this path, then you can go with the load a project and go open, and then of course my path was already set to the right path, or you might need to navigate to that path and click open, and your project will load, backing you back to the place that you just recovered from. So obviously in this case, we just made this recovery file, so we didn't lose anything. And then I will open this, and you can see that your elevation is still in here. Everything is still in here. You didn't lose anything because we saved everything to the geo package at this point. Now let's continue. Well, let's see what else. I can't remember what else the lesson said. I think that was basically it. In the 115 video, there's some information on how to do path or how to do layer management. So we don't have to do that with version 1.0. It does that for us. So instead, let's take a look at some of these additional tools. Like here is a add a group tool, or you can right click and add a group. Like if you wanted to put your results into one group. I'm going to remove that group. I'm going to right click, and you can either right click and navigate and click the button, or you can use the hotkey, which is right click R will remove the group. Let's try this one. This one is just some, if you want to hide all layers, you can click on this one. It'll just hide everything, and then of course if you want to get that back, you have to kind of come in here and start turning those back on. We wanted to see that one. Okay. And whether or not you want to see the grid is just like that. This one is filtering a layer, so you can filter the legend by map content. That means if you're zoomed in, it'll only show what's loaded on the map, and it'll filter everything else. This is expand all, this is collapse all. So if I hit expand all, that's horrible. Don't do that, right? And collapse all is your friend. Can really help you quickly find stuff. What is this guy? Remove a layer? Oh, cool. I didn't even know that was an option. That's new. Well, maybe it's not new. Oh, Control G and or Control D is another one. So we don't want to remove anything right now. I'll just leave it alone. And I don't want to save that because, you know, I just wanted to show you those. So I'll just probably close it and reload it. But I'll do that when the video is done. Okay, so that is a little bit about layer management and recovery of projects.